Alright guys, welcome to another video, and today I am going to be settling some questions that many of you have asked me. This question is particularly been asked a lot of times, especially since one of our really nice videos has come up. People have asked me, their machines have 3 nozzle tests, can they print? And I just want to settle this once and for all. So anybody asks me, I'm just going to throw this video for them. So this is more like a response video for that kind of query. Like you always know, before we go any further, just stop whatever you're doing, just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this video with your friends, share it with your colleagues. It might help them somehow. What it does for us is that it gets us noticed by the YouTube algorithm, and then so the algorithm can share our video with someone else who probably needs them. So please do us that favor and hit the subscribe button to support this channel. Alright, so in this video I want to show you, answer the question, is it possible to print with 3 nozzle tests? And I don't want to tell you no or yes. I want both of us to come to the conclusion by ourselves. Now, the way your printer head works is that you have 6 color nozzles. So if you look at on top of your printer head now, you'll see that you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, ideally, if you understand a bit about printing and color theory or color technology, you realize that you need mostly 2 color profiles to work with generally in print and design. One is the RGB and then the other one is the CMYK. Now, if you are a designer for screens, websites, any other interface that does not require print, mostly you're supposed to design with an RGB because your screens are built with RGB. If I had time, I would have shown you what your phone screens look like under a microscope. So you see that the colors you're going to be finding under the screens of your phone, your TV, your laptop, especially when they have a light emitting diode called the LED, the light bulbs you're going to be seeing at a very minute scale is blue, red, and green. That's what you call RGB: red, green, and blue. But when you want to print, however, you have to think in terms of another color model. And this color model, why they became so popular, is still something I myself really have to do some study on. But when you have to print, then you have to think in terms of C, M, Y, and K. Now, so if you're printing any color in life, that color is going to have an element of C, which is called cyan. It's going to have an element of yellow, which is called yellow, Y. It's going to have an element of magenta, which is called M, and it's going to have an element of K, which is black. So it is believed that all colors in life can be modeled with these colors, but of course, trust me, that is a very subjective statement and I can easily prove you wrong. But that's not where this video is for. So there's a consensus in printing that you must need these 4 colors or else you'll not be able to print. And that's why I intentionally stopped at the last video how to print with 4 color nozzles. But because the question became so much, I had to just answer that question and then put it to rest. Now, if you have 6 color nozzles on your XP600 machine, what that tells you is that you have beyond 4 colors. You're having 6 colors. And that's why if you look at these color nozzles now, you'll see that it is still CMYK, only that C is now 2 in this case and magenta is 2 in this case. So essentially, whether you like it or not, the colors boil down to 4. It is still C, M, Y, and K. So essentially, your XP600 is going to print with cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Now somebody will say, well, what about the X5 that has 8 color nozzles? Well, if you look at the X5, you are going to find that it has 2 nozzles for black, 2 nozzles for cyan, 2 nozzles for magenta, and 2 nozzles for yellow. So essentially, you see that you're still working within the CMYK color model. You're not moving beyond that. It is impossible to print on a CMYK color profile and not require an element of cyan, an element of magenta, and an element of yellow with an element of black? Now, there's a sense in which you can say, okay, why do I need black? And it's an intelligent conversation. Why do I need black? I thought all the three colors at their highest level would return a black. Well, yes, you might be correct, but the pigmentation of the black it produces is somewhere within the range of dark blue on the blue side, brown on the red side, and very strong brown on the yellow side. So essentially, you're still having a need for a black, and that's why the key is there. Some people who went to like the foundations of printing, for instance, would realize that you need 4 plates to print on your press. You need a magenta plate, you need a cyan plate, you need a yellow plate, and you need a key plate or a K plate, which is eventually your black plate. So now, if this is the way color models work, that you need a cyan, you need a magenta, you need a yellow, and you need a black, it is absolutely impossible, therefore, if you have only 3 nozzles working, for you to be able to print, because your print will now not look reasonable to most people, right? So if you say you only have 3 nozzles as it is here, you realize that the printout will not look as it ought to do. So I'm going to do that demonstration for you here in a bit. I'm going to close 3 nozzles here, and then before I close those 3 nozzles, I'm going to print a job, and then I'm going to close 3 more nozzles, and so I'm going to print with 3 nozzles. Essentially, I'm going to use cyan, magenta, and yellow, and I'm going to attempt to print a job without the black part and see what will the printout look like. And so by the time you see what the printout looks like, you already get an idea how it can work. Now, I'm interested in shocking myself with this video because it's not something I premeditated, but I just thought about it. I'm like, okay, fine, I need to rest this matter once and for all, so that once anybody asks me this question, I'm just going to send it to them. Now, I have a feeling that you're not going to get the best printout, but because I've not tested it, I'm willing to give myself a shocker, which I doubt. I don't think this is going to work, but let's just give it a try. Let's go. All right, so now if you see here, now I have blocked off black. Again, I went around here and I blocked off that other nozzle as well. This one here, I blocked it off. But on my machine, this nozzle is not working. So essentially what I have is a 3 nozzle printer head at the moment. Before now, I had printed this job with all the colors that I need to print, and you can see the way it came out. Now I'm going to attempt to print something else now, because this one requires, okay, well, yeah, because I'm not going to print black, so we should be able to see some trouble with this print already. So because you're going to require black to print hash, you're going to require cyan to print this. So cyan is going to do well because your job is essentially a cyan. But I'm going to attempt to print this kind of job, this very same job, print it again. We'll see how it's going to come out, and then I will attempt to print a full color job. So you see how well will your machine do without a black. In your case now, you might be left with cyan, magenta, or yellow. It doesn't matter. If it works, you'd have learned how to do it somehow. If it doesn't work, you'd have learned just how not to do it. So maybe you just buy a new printer. By the way, if you want to buy a printer, you can contact me. I have reliable sellers in China that can sell it to you. We have direct links with Alibaba and AliExpress and all of that, so I can easily send you a link where you could buy. It's a little pricey, but I think the printer head will do you some good. So, but that aside, so we're going to run that print now, and then you'll see exactly what it looks like. Alright, so we're about to print. Before we send the print, I'm deciding to do a manual pump. What the manual pump will do is to drain out all the ink that may remain in the system, so that those nozzles that printed this will be free by then, and then I'll do some cleanups, and then I'll send the job. If my guesses are correct, the hash should have an immediate problem, because it takes black to print hash. The cyan is mostly not going to be touched, but it's going to have a little bit of problem because it takes a bit of red to print what you think is blue. You'll soon understand what I mean by that. So it takes a bit of red to print what you think is blue, and by the time we dust off a red from the print, you should see a little impact on this, but you're going to feel the most impact when we send a full color job that requires cyan, magenta, yellow and black to print. I hope you're just like excited as I am with this test, because I'm excited. I want to see exactly what's going to happen, and trust me, this is happening to both of us for the first time, forever, by the way, because this is going to be the last time. Great. So let's do send a job now. The same job, this very job. Send it. Let's see. All right, now I don't think you can get a sense of how bad what I'm seeing is looking, because from my phone now everything is looking the same, but it's clearly not the same. This color is so lighter than this one that it's a shame. Like it's just completely different from what the customer is looking for. So this is essentially what you would call a 3-color version of what is a full color process job. Now, most people don't understand that. Some people will say, well, I can see blue, I can see hash, I can see white, and I know this is a 3-color job. No, there's an element of yellow and blue and red and magenta that it takes to make what you think is hash. There's an element of red and yellow and blue in something you think is golden yellow. There's always an element of other colors in the color you think you are perceiving. Don't forget, ultraviolet light has as much as 6 colors in it, and when you glance at the sun, you think you're seeing a warm color. In that single color, if you put a prism through that light, you're going to see it split into 6 different colors: indigo, violet, blue, red. So you in the things you think you're perceiving as color, that is not what the color looks like. So my phone camera is not doing justice to the terribleness of what this looks like. But trust me, if you have customers who don't really mind, who don't really care, this is something that can fly. But then again, another problem you're going to notice is the gradation in the print. For instance, if you look here, there's some gradation in that print, and that's not in the customer's intention. You see that gradation in print? That was not visible in this last print. For instance, you can see that you do not have that gradation in print here, neither did you have it here. So I'm just trying to show you that there is something wrong with when you don't have 4 colors to print. Now, the last experiment we're going to conduct is, let's now see what a full color printout looks like on screen. Then we're going to see what it will print out like. So that way, we just rest this case once and for all. It looks like I won. It looks like I'm correct. You can't really do well with a 3-nozzle print. But suppose you didn't really mind. Some customers can take this. You can use this to print 3-color jobs forever till you save up some money to buy a new printer. Trust me, if this is all you're strapped with, you can still run your business with a 3-color printer head. You don't have to throw it away. What you can do is you can take the full color jobs to your customers. But I'm trying to think about what kind of customer will not take a full color print from you. But then suppose you were in that scenario where you print only labels and the colors are already prefixed, you can count them colors, then you don't need so many printer nozzles to do that. But trust me, if I was to advise you like a friend, I'll say buy a new print head. Alright, so I'll do a new one for you now so you can see it. So guys, this is the color that we're about to shoot to the system. Now, in this color, you will see black, you'll see a little magenta, some warm yellow around the skin, and then you see The skirts are all black. There's a lot of magenta. Anything pinky is magenta-ish in nature. And then you take some red, which is red and yellow, to print that. The good part is we only have 3 nozzles working there. We have cyan, we have yellow, and we have magenta. Now we're going to see how much of black can those 3 colors produce. So for those who ask the question, what if I don't need black to print? So this way we should be able to settle this for once and for all. Now let's do it. All right, so I'm not going to print the entire part of that picture. I just needed to show you what the print would look like if you just decide to turn off something. Alright, so I'm just going to stop the print at this moment, and so I could do the final explanation that I have in mind. Now if you look at this print, this is supposed to be her headgear. Let me show you what the headgear looks like in reality. It's not even a headgear actually, it's her hair, and the hair is supposed to be black. So but if you look at what it printed its own version of it. What the computer on that machine is trying to do is that it's trying to recalculate all the colors that you're supposed to need, and then trying to output them in 3 colors. So this is what it looks like when you're supposed to use 4 colors to print, and then you eventually use 3 colors. Now this is not one of those happy videos that you're supposed to be watching because I just broke your heart telling you need to go buy a printer head because you can't use it. Oh yeah, but I just need to bury this for once and for all so that we could just settle this once and for all. People know if you have only 3 nozzles, I really can't help, and that's why I say that, as harsh as it sounds, but I really can't help if you only have 3 nozzles. If you're printing things like it's pretty straightforward, not too many colors, you can literally count the colors, then your 3 nozzle printer head is fine. But when you're going to be printing body details and plenty other things like this, then you need all of your nozzles firing, as much as 6 nozzles. I know I have one video that shows how to use 5 nozzles. I have another video that says how to use 4 nozzles. I am in no way recommending those, but suppose you were cash strapped, you can't buy a new printer head already, or maybe you just bought it and then you bought one of them refurbished printer heads and you didn't even know what to do with it, and you don't want to throw it away. Well, this is a way to get away from that problem. On a final note, I'm going to return these nozzles back now and do some manual pump, and then I'm going to continue the print. See, I didn't turn it off. I'm going to continue the print, and then we're going to see the difference when all of your nozzles are up and running, and then we'll just close the video like that. Right, so we're back. I did try to print with all the full color nozzles coming out, and you see straight away you can already see the black popping. But let me just show you the final picture of what it looks like eventually after working all the colors back in. So I hope with these few points of mine I was able to convince you and not to confuse you that you need 4 color nozzles at least to print on your machine. 4 color nozzles. If you have 4 color nozzles, I can assure you you'll print. But if it's 3 color nozzles, I will usually advise that you go get a new printer. So that's pretty much it for this video. Look at what it was doing when there was no black. Look at what it's doing now that there is black. Look at the picture. Look at the skin color when there was no black. Look at the real skin color, African beauty, sleeping. Look at the skirt when there is black. Look at the skirt when there was no black. So pretty much the system is trying to interpolate and the system is trying to do all the necessary calculations to give you the best image. It's just that it doesn't have enough resources. I hope this has helped somebody. If it does, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on your notification bell so that when we send a new video in, you should be able to get access to it. Thank you so much and have a lovely day ahead.